Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. So today I'm going to be doing a video all about my experience with sorority recruitment, and then also specifically at the University of Illinois. I figured when I was going to college, was so excited about U of I and about rushing and sorority and everything that I would literally look up like every possible video on YouTube. So I figured now that I've kind of gone through it, I would share my experience with you guys and any tips or advice that I have for anyone going through the process. So basically, once you decide that you do want to join a sorority, you have to fill out an application online, and it's going to ask for your name, your major, your GPA, if you're legacy or not, which basically means if you have any family member that has been in a sorority. And then I can't remember exactly, but I think it might ask like a few other questions that are just smaller, just so that they can get a little bit of background information on you. So now going into the actual process, you basically have open house, first invite, second invite, pref, and bid day. And at the University of Illinois, it's split into 2 weekends, so it's not as bad because you do kind of have a little bit of a break in between. But basically at first, or for open house, they'll give you a t-shirt to wear and you'll visit all 19 houses. And I'm gonna admit, it is a long weekend because you're constantly talking with people and like keeping the conversation going. So I'm gonna just let you know, bring water, bring snacks, bring energy, be excited. It's gonna be a long weekend, but it'll all end up paying off in the end. So basically after open house, you're going to rank your top 13 houses. This is after the second day, and then that is for going into first invite. So if a house wants you back, then you'll end up going there. Sometimes if a house doesn't want you back, another house that may want you will be bumped up. But so basically, you're gonna go to all of your houses, and honestly, it is so common for people not to get all 13 houses. Like, do not worry about it, do not stress about it. Like, I honestly think it's more common for people not to get all 13 houses back. But so then after first invite, then you're gonna rank your top 7 houses, and then that is to then go into second invite. And I think going from 19 houses to 13 isn't that bad, and then 13 houses to 7 houses isn't that bad either. But then going from 7 houses from second invite to then 2 houses for pref, it's a little hard, and you guys are gonna hear in a second about my experience with that. But yeah, it's a little hard, but just make sure that you remember it's all part of the process, and you just have to trust like your gut feelings about how you feel about a certain house. Honestly, anyone who's probably watching this is probably thinking that this is like way too dramatic, like it's literally a house, but these are basically the people that you're going to be spending the rest of your college with. You're going to be living a year with them. So as cheesy as it sounds, it is kind of like a hard decision to make when you're trying to narrow it down. So basically after pref, you're going to rank your first house and then your second house. And then the next day at bid day, that is when you guys are all in like the auditorium, and you open your card and you'll see the house that it is, and then you'll all run to your house. And honestly, I remember bid day was kind of awkward because I had literally no idea who like anyone was, and I was just like awkwardly standing there. But it's funny to look back and realize that all the people in your pictures are people that you're like super close with now, or some of your best friends now. So now going into my experience, I'm a bit of an emotional person, I'm gonna be honest. So for me, going through the experience was kind of hard. So going, again, as I mentioned earlier, from 19 houses to 13 wasn't bad at all. And then from 13 to 7, again, wasn't too hard. I think for me, the biggest problem was going from 7 houses to 2 houses. And so for me, my sister had been in a sorority here before, so I kind of had it in mind when I was going through the process. However, I began to really like these other houses that I honestly didn't even know about before even getting to school. It made my decision so much harder because I was like, okay, this is like a house that I've known for so many years because I used to always visit my sister here when she was in college. But now I also really loved these houses, and it made it so hard. I was literally the last girl in the room when we had to rank our houses, and I was bawling my eyes, and all the other Gamma Chi counselors were like trying to help me and trying to give me advice. And honestly, it was so hard. I remember I also could have like early prepped, like I could have done it earlier in the day because the way that my times were set up, and I waited the entire day because I could not decide. But then I remember on the way home, I was like bawling my eyes out, and I called my sister and I was like, Sam, I'm so sorry, like I dropped the house, like it was such a hard decision. And she was like, Karina, like why are you even worried about it? Like why are you even stressed? Like it's literally not that big of a deal. But honestly, like for me, I just looked at it again, like these are gonna be the people I'm gonna be spending the rest of my college career with, and it was so hard for me to decide because I genuinely loved like all of the houses, and so that was kind of hard for me to just narrow it down. But again, it all works out in the end. Like I think back to how much I was stressing and I'm like, why? So my camera just died, but I was just jamming to some music, so I'm in like a super good mood right now. But anyways, back to the video. The first piece of advice that I would have is to be open-minded. And so for me, I knew that my sister was personally in a sorority, and so I knew that I've known of that one for so long, and I kind of had that one in the back of my mind. However, I still made sure that I wanted to give every single house an equal opportunity, because honestly, I ended up loving houses that I didn't even know before I got to school. So you just really want to make sure that you're giving all of them a chance, because you could end up finding one and loving it and you may have never even known. The second piece of advice that I would have is to dress appropriately. And I say that lightly because I don't want that to come off the wrong way. The only reason I say that is because at the end of the day, you're there to have a conversation with someone, and you don't want to wear something that's too distracting or something that can take away from what you have to say. So of course, like, put your full personality into your outfits, like add your own creative touch to them. That was personally something that I was super excited about. Like, I remember shopping online at like all the little boutiques and trying to find like the perfect outfit and the perfect accessories to really show who I was. But you don't want to wear something that could be too revealing, where they'll be looking at that the entire time and not being able to focus on what you have to say. The third piece of advice that I have is to maintain your energy. So throughout the few weeks at U of I that you rush, and even in that week where you're not technically rushing, you are still meeting people, you are still making an impression, and so you just want to make sure that you're still maintaining that energy and you're still maintaining that excitement. Sometimes, like for days like open house, you're gonna have so many houses, and trust me, I know how long the day feels, but you want to make sure that you're still giving that last house just as much as energy and time as you did your first house, because again, you could end up loving that house, and that could be one of your favorite houses towards the end, and you would have never known if you didn't give a chance to that house during your first one because you didn't make a good impression. The last piece of advice that I would have is honestly just to be yourself. And as like, I know that sounds like super cheesy and everything, but like at the end of the day, like, you don't want to be putting on this persona and an act, because people can recognize that and people are going to be able to see that. And not only that too, but if you feel that you have to like put on an act for a certain house, then you should really think about if that's the house that you want to be in, because these are going to be the people you're going to be spending all your time with, and you want to be in a space where you can feel like you can be your 100% self and you can be comfortable with the people that you're with. One more thing that I just wanted to add is very little in a sorority is required, and so if you want to go and make as many friends and want to take advantage of as many opportunities, then you have to go out of your way to do that, and that's what you're going to get back, and you're going to get back all of those friends and you're going to get back all of those experiences. But you really have to push yourself out of your comfort zone to go and do that, because no one's going to be forcing you and no one's going to be telling you to go do that. So that's just one thing that I have. But thank you guys so much for watching. I wish all of you the best of luck as you go through the process, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!